All right, let me just get this out of the way. Your proposal for social media management services is different than your social media strategy. I feel like that's important to share because I've worked with a lot of different social media managers, and many of them make the mistake of spending way too much time and effort and energy and giving way too much strategy away in their proposal, only to have that potential client ghost on them. And I would assume they just take the strategy and run, hand it off to someone else, hire someone who's a little less expensive, give it to an intern. There's a million possibilities of what could happen, but what I don't want you to do is to give away all of your secrets and all of that magic before someone has paid you to work with you. So if someone is getting a completed social media strategy from you, then they should be at the very least paying you for a consultation or a strategy session. That should be a paid situation. A discovery call and a proposal for ongoing monthly social media services is not a strategy. You don't reveal the complete strategy. You reveal deliverables and what they're paying for on a monthly basis, what they can expect for you to do. And the strategy comes after that. Once they've paid an invoice, once they've agreed on your proposal and selected a package or signed a contract, that's when the strategy happens. There are clearly a lot of different ways that you can organize that, but what I want you to be careful of is giving away your strategic, what we're going to do inside of the proposal. So your proposal should really look like, I said, a list of deliverables. So it's more like, in this package, every month I'm going to be posting this many times per day or per week or per month. Like, this is how many times we'll be pushing content out to this and this channel. Maybe it includes, we're going to be posting 3 Instagram stories per week for this based on a couple of different content buckets that we select. After they say, okay, cool, 3 Instagram stories per week in this package, that sounds great, sign off on it. The strategy would include, okay, within the Instagram stories, these are the content buckets, these are the different themes that we're going to be looking at, here's some templates, here's some ideas, here's how we're going to track and measure these results inside of the stories, here's what the objective of the story is. We want people to be engaging this way, we want people to be sharing this way. One other thing to be careful for is that your discovery calls don't go super duper long. I've known people to do like 1 hour long discovery calls, and for social media services, I just feel like that becomes a consultation, because what are you really talking about for more than 20 minutes, 25 minutes? I don't think I've ever had a discovery call go longer than 20 minutes. That's usually a great amount of time to say, okay, I've got this list of questions, I'd love to know like where you are, what you've currently been doing, what are your expectations, what are your goals for social media, what's your business, who are you trying to reach, what channels are you interested in, like all of those sort of like checklist questions that can happen during a discovery call. Once you have that, you can put together the proposal, like based on what the information that they've given you. But if it starts to become sort of a brain picking session where they're like, well, what would you do in this case? Or let me ask you this, what would you do? Who would you reach out to? What influencers are you really like looking to? Like, who would we be working with? How would you do Instagram stories? When it starts to become, it's a fine line and a gray area you don't want to like kind of wander into, because at the end of the day, you can charge for a consultation if something's like 30, 45 minutes to an hour and you're actually giving away your ideas, you're giving away that knowledge. I think a lot of people who do this for a living forget. Your average person who's not studying and looking at this all day, who's not seeing the behind the scenes of different clients' accounts, who's not reading the news every day to find out what the latest and greatest thing is happening with Instagram or Facebook ads, when they're not as clued in, you can sometimes forget that the information you possess is very valuable and that other people don't think the way that you do. And so you can get taken advantage of quite a bit if you don't protect and hold that information. Now, I'm not saying don't give them a little nugget to show that you're an expert and that you know what it is that you're talking about. Throw that in. It's like a free sample. But just don't let your discovery call become a consultation, and don't let your proposal become a social media strategy. So you can just think of it like the proposal is the what and the strategy is the how. So if you're telling them all of the how inside of your proposal, then you're probably giving away a little bit too much, because now you've given them a roadmap. You've shown them, well, this is the what and the how, and then they can just take it and run. What you want to do is like, this is the what we'll do for you. We'll handle all of these things as a deliverable every single month. And then once we jump in and you decide that you want to do this with us, we're going to tell you exactly how we get there. And we're going to measure it every single step along the way. And we're going to report those results back to you. So does that make sense? If you're giving away too much of your strategy in your proposal, you run the risk of someone taking that. You make it sound really easy now. You've written down the exact steps for them. And although we know that there is still strategy involved whenever we're managing an account, and there's a lot of other behind the scenes stuff that we're probably not putting into the strategy, you can make it sound too easy for someone and they might just bypass you altogether and go, this was simpler than I thought. Thanks for all the great ideas. Or I'm gonna have little Susie intern do this for me. Of course, we know in the long term, it is way more expensive to hire an amateur than it is to hire an expert, but don't let yourself get burned. Don't let yourself get passed over if you're the right person for the job by giving away too much of your secrets and your information and all of your strategic ideas inside of that initial proposal. Of course, I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions about the difference between proposals and strategies, definitely leave a comment below and let me know.